Welcome, friends, folks, people just happened to pop on here. Welcome to the Gluttonous Geo Presents Munchies and Minis. My name is Catherine Barsonistis. I run the geeky food and recipe blog, The Gluttonous Geek. And Munchies and Minis is a Dungeons & Dragons and fancy tabletop role-playing game themed cooking show where I first make a snack inspired by Dungeons & Dragons or any kind of fantasy role-playing game, and then work on painting a miniature. Now, for the past, since I started the show up, I have started doing Rain Reese's from Twitter, 52 weeks of D&D fan art challenge. Last week, I did skip ahead to the word high society with some homemade smoked salmon with blackberry jam and gorgonzola butter. This week, we are getting back on Ratfolk, guys. We're back on schedule. So what I'm going to be making tonight is what I'm calling Rat King pasta fritters. Now, if you're probably wondering what a Rat King was, other than a rat that wears a crown and just kind of, tries to beat up nutcrackers and such, a Rat King is a term. It's kind of a cryptozoological term. It's kind of gross. It may not be real. It may be a hoax, but a rat king is the term used for when a bunch of rats get their tails all tangled up together in a giant ball of rats. I know, it's gross, but we're gonna just kind of play along with that today by making some essentially fried cheesy pasta balls. That kind of, reminds us of a rat king, as gross as it is, but also incorporating a couple of types of cheese into this fried ball of cheesy goodness. So, if you are looking forward to do this recipe, feel free to take notes. I also have all of my recipe cards for Munchies and Minis available on my Patreon. I believe that will be up next week, but if you want to check out my Patreon to get access to all that, that's going to be popped into the chat. At least I'm going to try to pop it into the chat. My stream deck's been acting weird. Yes, it worked. Or you can check out my Ko-Fi page, where I currently have this past week's Munchies and Minis card. But as long as you happen to donate this month, you should still have access to tonight's recipe when I post it next week. So, yes, Rat King cheese balls. Yeah. So, I admit I did not have time to either measure out my ingredients or get a drink before running this episode if I wanted to start on time. So we're going to be measuring as we go, and that's fine because it'll actually take us a little bit of time to do that. And it's really, honestly, this goes really quickly once you start it up. So let's get started on that. So first I'm going to pour myself a drink, and I'm not going to be all that fancy schmancy tonight. So just get my teacup, get some ice, and get some good old box wine because I do not feel at all creative tonight. Well, I don't feel all that creative when it comes to my drinks anyway. So, ice. And yes, I am drinking cardboard burgundy out of a plastic teacup, plastic tiki cup with ice in it. That is just how crassy I am. And hit my head on the lights while I'm at it. Okay, drink in hand, let's get started. So, what you're going to need for these pasta fritters is obviously first pasta. So I'm just going to switch to our prep cam here to measure out some pasta into the most ridiculous prep dishes ever, as in my spoon rests, and try not to trip over my cat who's decided to use my anti-fatigue mat as a bed. So, you'll want about 12 ounces of spaghetti for this recipe. I know that mostly you're going to find these boxes. Yeah, I know, I'm not a big fan of this pet brand either, but it was on sale. Sell it to you in about 16-ounce packages, pound. So what you're going to want to use is about 3/4 of a package. So I currently have about a quarter box in there at the current moment. So I'm just going to grab that out. Yeah, and have spaghetti go all over the place. And I want to break it in half, so it's also a little easier to manage. So, here we go. And if you're wondering, yes, I do currently have a pot of water on the stovetop boiling. Well, it's not boiling yet. It's coming to a boil. But we're not going to watch that unless you really want to watch water boil. So, or wait for water to boil. Okay, so that's about... It's about 3 ounces, or sorry, 4 ounces right there of spaghetti noodles. So now I just need to do the same, stop it. Do the same thing with this box here. I might actually need another container. So yeah, like I said, about 3/4 of a package. So really I want to get to about down there with that much pasta left. So yeah. So I play a balancing act with my spoon rests here. That's not going to work. I'm just going to use this plate for the rest of it, because I'm not actually going to need that until I'm done frying this pasta. So, yeah. Actually, it's just easier if I do this whole thing. Don't mind the weird containers. This is me just being weird. All right. More pasta. All right. Okay, so yeah, that's about a quarter of a box left. All right. And the reason why I'm breaking this is so you're not going to have your spaghetti balls be too out of control or huge. So I'm just going to take that over here for now, set it aside, get it out of my way before I happen to spill things and flip things all over my kitchen. If you don't believe me, yesterday I was trying to make hard-boiled eggs, and then I took the lid off, and some of the condensation water came off and landed on my foot. And I screamed. And then the whole pot just kind of slipped off the stovetop. Yay! Right. So, do as I say, don't do as I do, in that particular manner. I still don't know how I managed to not have any burns on my foot, even though it felt like I did. I either heal really fast or my body has decided to ignore it. Okay, so now we just need to measure out the not so fun stuff first. So, first you're gonna need a 3/4 of a cup of water. Not to be confused with your pasta water. This I'm doing because unless you happen to have homemade stock on you, which I currently don't because I'm behind. I did measure out 3/4 of a cup, right? I should stop talking and start thinking. So 1, 2, 3. Haha. I can follow my own directions, kind of. All right, so 3/4 of a cup of water, because we're going to be using one of these thingies. What's tonight's drink? Tonight's drink is really classy. It's cardboard containing burgundy on ice cubes, because I'm classy like that. Right. So yeah, as you see, this is a chicken seasoning from packet from ramen. You don't have to use specifically this. You can use chicken bouillon cubes, or you can use actual chicken stock. But we're going for a little cheap on this recipe tonight because it is rat folk. It's not like they're all that the greatest connoisseurs of stock. Unless you're Remy from Ratatouille. But if I go on about that, I'm going to get sued by Disney. So we're not going to go on about that. So next, I'm going to need some heavy cream to go in my sauce. So measure out about 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream. 1, 2, 3. Right. And now we're going to go for the fun stuff after I rinse this cup out. The cheese. It would not be a rat folk inspired recipe without cheese. So, and another move of straight up classiness, we're going to be using this Italian 5 cheese blend from Kraft. It's got, let's see, mozzarella, provolone, Parmesan, Asiago, and Romano. Doing it mostly to get as much cheese flavor, well, different types of cheese flavor. So, I'm going to do about a cup of that. So. All right, that's a cup. And while I have this bowl available, so I'm not having to dirty up another bowl, I'm gonna go ahead and measure out, hopefully not have my eggs flying all over the place, 1/4 cup of blue cheese crumbles. Like, yes, I'm dirtying another spoon, but spoons take up less room in my dishwasher than bowls do. So, and the reason why I'm just putting this all in the same bowl is that it's all going in at the same time. I would do that with the water and the cream as well, but don't really need to. Just gonna chef's tax there. And the reason why I wanted to do blue cheese tonight is, rat folk, you're mostly gonna find them in sewers. They're mostly gonna try to eat whatever is available to them. And cheese that's kind of gone funky, that makes sense, right? So yeah, there's our cheese. Half cup. Wait, that's too shallow. Half cup. Right. Okay, so got our cheese. It was good timing considering that it looks like our spaghetti is coming to a boil. So, find where I put my tablespoon. And yes, I did put about a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. You can go about a half tablespoon, but I'm feeling pretty generous tonight. So, got that. So I'm just going to set that to the side now too. And finally, for our main pasta, I'm going to get a tablespoon of grainy mustard. Oh, right. I just realized it's not the only thing I'm getting. A teaspoon of white wine vinegar. Because once again, we're going for the people might have just thrown this in the trash and it's gone a little iffy. It might have fermented. So, there you go. All right. So it sounds like our water is at a full boil. Yep, that is certainly the case. So now I'm just gonna throw in my pasta. And try to arrange it around the pot so it's less likely to stick together when it cooks. Now, if you're wondering, yes, I did already salt the water. You want your pasta water to taste a little bit like seawater. Taste it before you start boiling, if you're going to do that. Yeah, I know it's all akimbo at the moment, but it'll cook down. Okay. And most commercial spaghetti, packaged spaghetti, is going to cook for about 9 to 10 minutes before it's al dente. So I'm just going to turn on my vent hood here and set a timer for 10 minutes. Good stuff. Okay, so now that we've got our main prep done for our pasta, I'm just going to set that to the side for now and start prepping a couple of other things, especially for when we start frying our pasta. So I do the cautious dance to get this over here. Because what we're also going to need, of course, for doing fried pasta balls is we're going to need stuff to fry it with. So what you're going to want is a bacon, vegetable oil, and where did I put my breadcrumbs? Like I said, I didn't really have time to do this earlier. So, Italian style breadcrumbs, eggs, and please tell me I have some in here. Aha, I do. And flour. So, this part is where we get a little less, we get a little bit more approximate rather than exact. So, I'm just going to pour some breadcrumbs into a bowl. And I may actually replenish that throughout the evening. I mean, just get yourself a big 15-ounce can of it. I mean, it's cheap and it's not like it really goes bad. It's breadcrumbs. So, got that. Next, I want to add some flour to this bowl. This is what I'm going to dredge the pasta balls in later on. Like I said, you don't have to be exact, and you can always add a little bit more later on. So, pile that on top of that. But you do want 2 eggs for this, so some eggs, a fork. Now, one thing to note before you just start doing this as your pasta's cooking, do not crack your eggs or prep any of that until the day after you make your pasta, because we're going to freeze all of this once it's made. And the reason why I'm doing this tonight is because I already made a batch last night. And every once in a while I just kind of go in with my pasta claw and I'll show you that. As you see, the pasta's kind of cooked down a little bit, so now I'm just kind of stirring it a bit to keep it from all sticking together. Just tossing a little bit, making sure that all of it's submerged in the water. as my cat almost trips me again. Okay, so, eggs. Oh, we're just going to beat that up. With a fork, not with my fists, even though that would be funny. For about, 5 seconds until I realize I have to clean it up. Okay. Good stuff. Actually, come to think of it, I might just add about a splash of heavy cream. Okay, cool. All right, and now I have that ready to go. And can just start cleaning up my station while I am waiting for pasta to cook. Which I currently have about 5 minutes left on. So yeah, as you see, I've got some bacon. I'm just gonna get another prep dish for now. All right, so the goal with the bacon is that I'm going to be frying these pasta fritters in a mix of bacon fat and vegetable oil. Since rat folk eat pretty much anything, I figure, they'd probably eat people. And what do people taste like? Bacon. So, don't ask me how I know this. So I'm just gonna, let's see here. No, I'm not gonna use all of this as much as I want to. I'm also gonna be working on cooking some Elder Scroll themed recipes later this week. I wish they were mine, but no. The goal with that is that I'm going to be reviewing my friend Chelsea's cookbook, the Elder Scrolls official cookbook. Rat folk food is people, yes, yeah, that's accurate. And I may actually stream on, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, how many do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we'll do about 5 strips of bacon. Yeah, that looks good. But yeah, one of the recipes I'm going to be doing is Horker loaf, which is kind of an interesting. It's a meatloaf recipe that has ground beef and smoked oysters, but it's topped with whole garlic cloves and bacon, and it looks fantastic. I was originally going to cook it up for Meal Prep Monday, but, Monday, yeah, I apparently forgot to take my Lexapro the night before, so, I get this biker dude yells at me because I refused to run a red light for him the other day. And for some reason I was internalizing it basically for the rest of the evening. And that's when I was kind of on the fence. So did I take my Lexapro? I can't remember. But that kind of confirmed it because for some strange reason I just started crying. I'm just going, crap. And it's too late in the day for me to take it if I'm going to get my other dose in. So, after that and trying to work on my Pokemon post and going to a chiropractor's appointment and then buying all of the ingredients for about 4 or 5 recipes for that cookbook. I got home. It was about 4:30. I was dead. So what I may actually do is either stream that tomorrow or Friday. Okay, so I'm getting down to about a minute and a half left on cooking my pasta. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to reserve some pasta water, about a half a cup of pasta water. Set that aside. And then I'm going to heat up my other pan on about a medium flame. So, I'm just going to switch to that. And in less than a minute, I'm just going to drain my pasta. So, Yep, been there. Why am I getting all wavy over nothing? Oh yeah, missed a dose. Yep, that's essentially what happened. But, I mean, took my meds. The following day, I was great. And had such a great episode last night of Witch Girls over on Little Red Dot's channel. For those aren't really up to date with the blog, my friend Chelsea of i.e. Little Red Dot, little_red_dot on Twitch, has a role-playing channel on here where she, runs D&D and a bunch of, but she mostly runs a bunch of indie games. Currently, we are running Witch Girls Adventures, which is kind of a picture like kind of this Craft meets Mean Girls meets Harry Potter. Yeah, we're basically playing as a bunch of teenage girl witches. Solving mysteries and stuff. Okay. Cook pasta. And, yeah, this is actually our second season. I mean, first season was about 4 episodes long, and that was in November. Let's see here. Let's see, are we hot enough? Okay, yeah, that's pretty hot. That should do it. So now that my pan is hot, I am going to add my mustard and white wine vinegar to that. Cook it for about 30 seconds to a minute. Kind of release all those juices and such. Next, stir that around a bit. Add a little bit of oil. And the reason why I'm adding the mustard and vinegar before I add the oil is, one, there's not that much, but two, I kind of want the moisture to cook off a little bit before I add anything else. Because as you see, it's kind of sparking a bit, so I'm going to add that 3/4 cup of water I told you about, as well as my chicken bouillon, or, ramen seasoning packet. Heavy cream. And then use my pasta water here. Clean out my bowl of heavy cream. Okay. First, going to stir that around just a little bit. If you want, you can now add a pinch of salt, which that's about that much. That's kosher salt, by the way. I'm not putting table salt in, otherwise it would be pretty bad. Now, I'm going to take my cooked noodles and kind of slide that into our sauce, as well as just kind of get that in there. All right. So yeah, now this kind of gives us a chance to swirl around our sauce more and coat it. Also, so our pasta doesn't stick together too much. We want it to stick together, just not yet. now I just want to toss the noodles gently, mind you, until it's coated and the liquid here comes to a simmer. That out of my way for now. All right. Sip of wine. Okay. I'm curious, is my music still going? Oh, good. Yes, it is. All right. All right, it's kind of simmering underneath, but what I really want is for the sauce to start kind of simmering through the noodles here and start kind of bubbling up. You're seeing it bubble up around the edges. I kind of want it a little bit more towards the center, just a wee bit. And I don't want to go too long because I don't want to boil my sauce, but the thing is, another reason why I'm doing this is that the noodles also absorb the sauce as it's cooking. Okay. Alrighty. While I'm waiting for that to do that, I'm just going to do a wee bit of cleanup. Put a few things away because I can. I mean, it's weird because you think a recipe like, fried cheesy pasta would cause a lot of mess. Yeah, about that, this is probably one of the cleanest recipes I've put together for Munchies and Minis. I mean, sure, it uses a lot of, okay, I'm seeing some bubbles come up through there, so now I'm going to turn my heat off. And now, I'm going to add all that cheese and herbs that you saw earlier. Just kind of toss that in there. Take advantage of the heat I already have going in this pan. So now I just kind of want to gently toss that. Let it get into the liquid underneath the pasta to melt. And thing is, when you get shredded cheese like this, oh boy, my apron's going all over the place. When you get shredded cheese like this, it tends to go stringy because it's got some starch in it. So, I mean, this is going to stick to the pasta. That's without a doubt. I mean, we have starch upon starch upon starch. But, it just really depends on whether you want cheese kind of incorporated all throughout or just giant clumps of it where only some of it's going to be in the pasta balls. So, I'm not really tossing so much as I am pulling and folding at the moment. But as you can see, this is pretty darn glorious. I mean, as the cheese melts into the cream, it starts thickening up to the point where there's hardly any liquid, as you see, in here. Okay, that is looking pretty brilliant. I'm making sure I don't have any cheese clumps. Okay. That looks pretty darn delicious. All right, so that means we now have the first of our 3 parts done. So, well, heat's already off. Just gonna move that now to my prep area. Switch cams here. Okay. All right, so. Whew. So yeah. Move that out of the way. We come up to the next part of assembly. So what I'm going to need for this is a container that I can freeze all of this in. So I'm just going to find get one of my baking dishes out up here. All right. And I'm also going to need some freezer paper. That's not freezer paper, that's a plate. Let's go ahead and turn that off for now. Oh boy. All right, so you can hear me just a wee bit better. So, yeah, I know that was a lovely sound. Got a layer of freezer paper. Just gonna stick in here. It will get weighed down, I promise. And then move this up here. Get that out of the way of my stream deck. Aha. All right, so I'm just going to try to arrange things so you can see what I'm doing. And for it to lose a little counter space off of that. Okay, so we got our pasta and we have our container. So next, what I need is a good long tine fork, like a dinner fork. And now, I'm going to show you how to make some pasta nests, or the little rat kings, so to speak. So, what you want to do, just like you would if you're eating pasta, just kind of twirl that in. Catch that with your pasta claw or a spoon. And then just put that on your parchment paper. To repeat. Actually, just get a little bit more on that one. There you go. And kind of, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just setting them about an inch apart on my freezer paper. So, once again. I mean, have you ever seen like food blogger photos of pasta looking, well, just a plate of pasta that looks like it's in a neat little nest? Same exact technique. Now, the baking dish, about 913 baking dish like I have right here, is going to fit about 6. You want to bake it in a single layer, but that's okay because I'm going to freeze this rather than bake this. I mean, it's freezer paper. You don't want to bake that anyway, it'll melt and get gross. But I'm going to put another layer of paper on top of that so I can do a stack. So, and I can tell you now, this is really, I have not eaten dinner yet, so this is incredibly tempting for me. But don't worry, there will be enough to get yourself a chef's tax. And if you're worried about this kind of sticking together, don't be, because it's going to need to stick together anyway when it fries. So, yeah, here we go. And like I said, you want about roughly an inch apart. All right, so now it's time for layer 2. All right. And you want to place your pasta actually on the glossy side so it sticks less. So that's done. All right. You see, I'm kind of pull the pasta a little bit away so it doesn't get too large. Okay. we go. Stay. Doesn't always behave. But, I mean, if it sticks together, that's fine. You can just cut it apart before you fry it. Okay. As you see, as it's sticking together, it's starting to form larger clumps. So, just kind of have to monitor that a little bit. All right. Yep. Okay. And mind you, this is also the reason why I had you break the spaghetti in half at the beginning of this recipe. So otherwise, these things can be pretty gargantuan. All right. Time for layer number 3. I will admit I was starting to feel a little carpal tunnel at the moment. Okay. Cool. All right, and as I said, there's still just a little bit left to get yourself a chef's tax. So. That was good. Okay. So yeah, that is our pasta. Let's see. So, as you can see, we've got about 18 nests of cheesy goodness. Now, I'm just going to top that with one more layer of freezer paper. Gloss the side down this time. set that to the side before I put it in the freezer. Okay, so the next part of this recipe is that I need to get my oil ready. You want to, I don't have to do that technically with this batch until tomorrow, but you want to freeze your cheesy things overnight. But like I said, I already made a batch last night, so we're gonna make that, but I'm just gonna keep that in the freezer for now until the oil is hot enough. So, what I'm gonna need to do now is prepare my cooking oil. So, first I'm going to take my Dutch oven here. I prefer using cast iron just because it's, well, it kind of has the enamel non-stick surface to begin with, but it maintains your heat pretty well. So first I want to get that nice and hot, ready to go. Get myself another drink as I think I might be able to. It's probably fine thawing out for a little bit. Let's see how we did on our first batch of pasta balls. So, switch to our okay, that is significantly frozen. Wow. Come on. I may have been talking through my butt when I said use freezer paper for this. Right. I'm gonna let that thaw. Good thing I did take it out of the freezer. So, I'm just gonna move that over there and put my other batch in the freezer. This is so many carbs, it's not even funny. Okay. Cool. All right. Let's see if I can maybe detach it with my tongs. Maybe. Or a hammer. Hammer might work. Okay. Note for next time. Freezer paper only works on one side. Maybe if I do... Wow. Haha! I have freed one! Yes! Okay. Haha! And another! And another! Ooh. Let's get the paper off of that so we don't have fried paper. Okay, I think our stovetop might be ready for bacon. Let me just check that really quick. Okay, it's hot, but not as hot as I would like it to be. So, let's go back to our prep cam and I can just start loading up my Rat King fritters. Well, the frozen cheesy pasta. Aha! Scratch that off. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Okay. And there we go. That would be all of them. Okay. Cool. So. Paper. Okay, so I think that should be hot enough, so now I'm just going to add my bacon. Alright. I love the sound of bacon sizzling at whatever time of the day. Alright. And, yep, just going to let that fry. I'm going to use the same pair of tongs that I'm going to use to dip our fritters with. So that means I need a mini cutting board. And some paper towels. My mini cutting boards that are currently being blocked by my cat. Okay. Thanks, princess. Alright. Just gonna stick that there. How are we doing on that stove? Looking good. Can I? No, I won't. I'll use something fresh. Right. Of all things, I didn't think it would take this long for bacon to fry. Man, let's see what time is it. Oh, we're making great time. Yeah. So as you imagine, this week has been kind of busy. I mean, managed to get the Pokemon post out yesterday, as well as last week's Munchies and Minis out today. I have all that cooking to. I'm actually going to be releasing another post this week with those deviled eggs. I'm just trying to make sure that I have about, goodness, at least 3 recipe posts this month, but at least 4 posts. So I'm going to drive myself crazy, but that's what I do. I mean, let's see how we doing on that bacon. Admittedly, it's sticking a little bit more than I anticipated. I'll just let it render out and do its thing. Oh, by the way, the reason why I love these tongs is that there's this little bend in them where keeps them off the counter. Good stuff if you don't want to deal with any kind of cross-contamination. Yeah, that's still going. But yeah, oh my gosh. Next month is going to be pretty crazy because I still have Witch Girls going on Tuesdays. But, yeah, MomoCon's later this month. And, yeah, I'm going to try to squeeze about another 4 posts in. I mean, I guess that doesn't really sound like too much. But I guess it just feels like that way to me. I mean, luckily, this past month was pretty crazy because I had Thronesgiving, i.e. my Game of Thrones premiere feast about 2 weeks ago, which turned out like probably the most relaxing Thronesgiving I've ever done, which is strange because it is a record number of people that I've cooked for. I was cooking a six-course meal for 17 people. And yeah, I was very lucky to have my friend Katerina. If you're wondering, well, you probably weren't wondering, my friend Katerina, she runs the geeky food blog Pretty Cake Machine, where it's, she does what I do, but she does with cake decorating and baking. She's actually a professional baker, and she makes some of the most amazing work. I mean, her Sailor Moon desserts are flat out gorgeous. But yeah, since she's also local to Atlanta, we've become best friends. And she was kind of acting as my sous chef that evening, and helped me with the whole plating madness that I had towards the end of the evening. Because have you ever tried to plate, like cook for that many people in a small commercial? Well, not. Admittedly, my kitchen is not small by comparison standards, but when I have a 6-course meal and it only takes up so much room on my dining table, you can imagine it gets pretty crazy. Let's see how we doing on that bacon. All right, still waiting for it to get crispy on me. But yeah, that, what am I doing? That turned out really well. Really excited about this season. We also have Thronesmas coming up later this month, which is I'm not cooking for that many people. It's a potluck, thank goodness. I'm kind of torn between doing a kind of savory pull-apart bread with my castle cake pan, kind of, represent Winterfell. Or the Red Keep. I mean, I guess we won't really know until next episode, so stay tuned for that. I'm debating whether or not to use goose fat or bacon fat for that, because I ended up giving all my duck fat to my friend Kiska. Okay, that could stand to be crispier, but I'm just going to take some of these out. I think I might fry up a little bit more bacon. Well, 5 strips is okay. Okay. So, yeah, you want to fry up your bacon until it's crispy, or at least rendered out most of its fat. Doesn't matter if it's separate or not, because you're going to be chopping this all up anyway. Take that to our paper towels over here, let that cool off, and drain. Next, I'm going to take my vegetable oil and get the music back on because it looks like we ran out. Start that back up. Okay. And I'm just going to pour in vegetable oil till it comes to about 2 inches up. It's about 1.5 inches. That's about 2 inches. So yeah, now I just need to wait for that to get nice and hot for me. So, that said, switch back to our prep cam. Move the bacon over here, wait for it to cool. And we're going to do a little bit of dipping. Yes, I know that sounds off, but trust me. So, yeah, just going to take a pasta fritter, and toss that in some flour. Probably should have used a larger bowl for this. So, just toss that in flour. Knock off the excess. Dip that into our egg wash here. Then I'm going to coat that with some Italian breadcrumbs. Okay, set that to the side. Same thing, flour, egg, come on. I realize I probably should have used a larger bowl for this too. These are a bit larger than I was expecting. But yeah. Egg, and then, breadcrumbs. And you'll notice when I do the recipe, I'm not going to specify how much you need because you are going to need quite a bit. Just get, like I said, get one of those 15-ounce cans of Italian breadcrumbs and hope that it's enough. Okay. Okay, I can actually smell my vegetable oil now. So that means it's probably ready for me to start frying. But I'm just gonna do another one before I do so. Yeah, this is gonna drive me crazy. I'm gonna get a larger bowl for that. I hate using the big one, but I'm gonna have to. There we are. All right. Yeah. Now I've got flour on my stream deck. Brilliant. Egg. Drip off the excess, and then breadcrumbs. All right. Now I think that's about as much as I'm going to be able to fit into my pot. So let's just. I'm going to do a little bit of a test here. Switched over to stove can. I'm going to dip that into some egg and flour and see how that reacts. I'm not convinced that is hot enough. Oh, yep, that is hot enough. If it raises quickly up like that, it is hot enough. So I'm just going to now add a fritter. Right. See about check on that in about 2 minutes. In the meantime, I'm just gonna add the next one in there. Cool. All right, so while that is going, let's go ahead and prep some more. So, once again, got my flour. Come on, get in there, dang it. Okay, that's looking good. Now breadcrumbs. Okay. Whew. I'm gonna actually just check on those fritters real quick to see how they're doing. I think I want to let them go a little bit longer so that they're more golden brown. So now I'm just going to put the timer on for another, let's say another 2.5 minutes. Besides, I'm going to need to line my plate with some paper towels so it can dry up that excess oil. Okay. But while we're waiting on that, once again, I'm going to go back to our prep can and do a little bit more prepping. Add some more breadcrumbs to that. And check on my fritters. Okay, how are we doing? Just gonna turn that over. Ah, stay attached, dang it. All right, maybe just another minute. Ah, nope, stop that. Okay. Cool. And right. Okay. Nope. Let's see how we're doing. Okay, I would say that those are, yep, those are definitely done. So, I'm just going to transfer the finished ones to a paper towel lined plate to let it drain. Beautiful. Okay. Cool. Oh, so let's add those other three. I think the golden amount of time was about 4 minutes total, so let's do that for about 2 minutes on each side. Okay. Okay. Come on. Whew. Hope I have enough egg wash. I may actually need some more egg wash. Yep. What am I doing? That's the wrong bowl. Nope, supposed to go in the breadcrumbs. Well, that one will be double breaded. Okay, so it's time to flip the fritters I currently have. So, let's do that. Cool. Set that for another 2 minutes. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need some more egg wash. So, just pull some more eggs out of the fridge. Okay. All right. Let's check on those other fritters. That's looking good, yeah. minutes and let it go. All right. We're in the home stretch. We're almost done. We got 4 more left. So. Breadcrumbs. I feel kind of like I'm panning for gold here. Okay. Let's turn those. Where did you go? Really? You're gonna fall apart on me? Ah, where'd they go? The point where, you know how you put your headphones in your pocket and they end up coming out, all right, just gonna let that go for another 2 minutes and turn the heat down on that because it's definitely going a little crazy. Don't want oil overflowing on our pan. So that would be bad. All right. Like I said, home stretch, about 4 more of these to make. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit more. There we go. All right. Breadcrumbs. All right, 2 more to prep. think I'm having the problem. These things are starting to thaw out on me. Okay. Oh, crap. I hit the timer, but it didn't actually start on me. Okay. Looks like I just had one fall apart. Switch you over to the stovetop cam. Okay. Okay. Admittedly, that batch did not turn out quite exactly how I wanted it to. But I think it was because I was running out of egg wash towards the end. So, with that said, let's go ahead and get our last batch in before it melts on us. So. And right now my roommate and husband just entered the room and they're kind of sniffing around like rat folks, so appropriate. Okay. Whew, right. Still kind of waiting for that to get back up to the proper temp. Let's set it for about 2.5 minutes then while we're waiting. And I can just do some quick cleanup of my space here. Oh boy. Right. Alright, so now that I've my bacon all dried, I'm just going to chop it up. Yeah, it's doing just fine. Okay. Okay, now it's time to flip. Hopefully this batch fared a little bit better than the last one. It's my dearest and sincerest hope. It looks like may have actually just stuck together. Wow. Okay. Oop. Please don't bubble over on me. Okay. Yeah, this is what happens when the egg and pasta just kind of come separate. It ends up sort of releasing a lot of moisture, and hence it's very bubblicious over here. Oh good, I did set a timer. All right, so now our garnish is ready. Oh, there's oil all over the place. Yep. Yep, that definitely came apart on me. So I'm just kind of doing it on a separate paper towel, because okay, that appears to be all of it. Yeah, as you see, this came apart, I'm pretty sure, because it had thawed out. Oh, let's see how our last batch does. And hope for the best on that. I honestly can't tell. Bubbles to die down any. Okay. Here's hoping for the best on that. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for that, let's go ahead and plate our fritters. I'll return momentarily to get a serving plate. I apologize for the clatter you're about to hear. There we go. All right. All right, I am back. Whew. Alright, so just gonna wipe some of the excess oil off of that. and select some of our best looking fritters here. So that would be this one. And this one. Okay, how are we doing on that? Another 2 minutes, maybe. That looks delicious. Thank you. Yeah, apparently I had some trouble later on where it decided to go all crazy on me, as in the kind of melted a little too much. So now I'm having them kind of fall apart while frying. But the first couple ones look great. Just gonna garnish this then. Just a little bit shredded cheese. Oh, what the heck, I'll add some blue cheese too. And a little bit of crushed bacon. There we go. And there you go. Rat King. Fried cheesy pasta fritters. Just grab that last batch out of the fryer and we'll be ready to start painting. So here is hoping that this did not fall apart on me. It probably did. Yeah. Yep, totally did. But regardless, it should be absolutely delicious. Check that out. All right, anything left in there? No extra little bits? Cool. So I'm just gonna turn that heat off and let it come to room temp before I decide to start cleaning any of that. So yeah, that was my recipe for Rat King pasta fritters. It's spaghetti with Italian cheese and blue cheese, as well as Italian seasoning. Here, go back to there. Oh boy, I think I might have fogged out my camera. Let's see if I can clear that up a little bit. Is that any better? Okay, that's slightly better. All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna let that sit for photos later, as well as get myself a snacrifice, because I have not eaten dinner yet. So, all this stuff that fell apart on me earlier, yeah. It still tastes great. Breaded spaghetti. Which, excellent. Okay, so, since this is Munchies and Minis, we still have mini painting to do. So, do bear with me as we switch that over for the next 20 minutes. Just gonna move that over. And hope that my cat does not get into the cheese while it's sitting on the counter. Actually, I think I might like another one on there. Kind of balance it out. Yeah. It's a sacrifice to the cats. There we go. Excellent. Okay, so like I said, do bear with me, because now we're going to switch over from cooking to painting. Of course, while getting the perishable goods back into the fridge. So, okay. Yep. Let's see how we do it on view on that. Looks good. Excuse me, shorty. Okay, let's see. How's my sound doing? Okay, good. You can still hear me. All right. Just need to fill my water cup and get some paper towels so we can continue painting our Dragonborn mini, Bosco the Party Dragon. Okay, let's see. Much better. All right. Finally sit down, or at least get my drink, and then I can finally sit down. Oh boy. Times I wish that it was Friday already. Okay, so this week we are working on painting Bosco the Party Dragon. I mostly just did a little bit of a base coat last time, but now I need to kind of go in and get the rest of this. So I think I'm going to do go with the green cloak. Hi, Schrodinger. The cat's kind of swirling around my legs right now and wanting pets. Of course, I think he also smells the bacon, so could be also why he's going a little crazy. Whew. So if you're wondering why my base is painted red, I was kind of hoping to do a bit of a, what's it called, volcanic sort of look. But to do that, I'm going to need my texture paint. Kind of build it up a little bit. Ah, here we are. Add some cool down magma spots. I mean, he's a dragon. He doesn't really care, but figured it would be a little more recognizable. I kind of built up some spots on here to make it work. I will say, I kind of wish the D&D minis actually made, you know, square or circle bases rather than making us glue our own. Just make it easier to handle. And stand up on their own. Okay. Okay, so that's dry. Admittedly, this is not the most exciting part of painting. Getting all the brush coats on, base coats on. Last little details in the back here. Okay. try to dry brush a scale mail here with some metallic gold. And the reason why I painted this black earlier was so that these details come out a little better. Looks like I need to get the music back on. Okay. All right. Lighter blues. Don't know if this really qualifies. So I've been wanting to try this out, and so much that my Turbo Dork, it's called Bubblegum Crisis, and I've been trying to find something that actually shows up on properly. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that looks really cool. Wipe up some of that excess. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that looks really cool. Okay, Turbo Dork, you have made a believer out of me. Okay, I think I could probably use something a little brighter on the bottom there. Maybe... let's do that. You know what? I'm just gonna make all of its tunic that blue. I think it's very pretty blue. Looks like I missed a little bit of his plate armor. I'm just going to hit it with a couple of washes to define that a little bit more. Yeah, I think I'm liking how that purple's working with that blue. Oh, heck yeah. That is looking really pretty. Good. Okay, I'm curious to see how that purple works on my green. Not as big a fan of it. Okay. I think that is a pretty good stopping point for tonight. We managed to get our base layers on as well, a few washes to kind of really make those colors pop. I mean, Bosco the Party Dragon is definitely starting to look like a party dragon, or at least a very styling one here. So, that said, I think it's time to call it a night tonight. Thank you so much for joining my stream tonight. This was definitely Munchies and Minis to remember, I suppose. Next week the theme is dragon, and I actually am still on the fence about what to do for that. So if you have any suggestions, feel free to pop them into the chat or message me directly on one of my social media pages, like Facebook. You can always pop that into the chat. Thank you so much for watching tonight. Let's see if I can set you on to raid another channel. Let's see here, who is actually streaming right now? Do I actually have anyone streaming? Error searching for live channels. Okay. Oh, it looks like my friend Eris. Eris Savad is currently crafting, so if you want to check her out, well, I'm rating you in about a minute or two, so you will get to see her in just a second. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Catherine Barsonistis. You're watching the Gluttonous Geo Presents Munchies and Minis, and you have a great night.